Welcome back to International Scale Modeler. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a review on this, which is the Retrokit 172 Batplane 1941. Now this, as you all know, I like different and I like funky, and Retrokit do bring out a lot of different and retro and funky stuff, which is why we stock them on the site. Absolutely fantastic guy, and Domi, who runs Retrokit, has some great ideas. This one is based on an episode from The Brave and the Bold, I think from the 80s, something like that, and it's based, the kit itself is based on a Curtis P40, and it's a solid chunk of resin, really nice indeed, but it does look to be a really nice little kit, something different, and because it's all black, it's going to test you a bit as well to actually give it some interest as well. But Domi said he was going to bring this out, and I was really looking forward to it because I do love all these off-the-wall sort of things, and this is no different from the other stuff that he's been producing recently. So I think without further ado, let's go to the other cameras and have a look inside the box. Okay, so we've got the box here of the Retrokit Batplane 1941-172. As you can see from the overhead, it's quite a sturdy little box, which is quite familiar with retro kits. If you've had retro kits before, you've seen these boxes several times, and just on the front you've just got a basic picture of the model, and that's it. So let's have a look inside the box. Flashing up the price now, you can get these from umpretail.com, and these are brand new out. They've only been out a few weeks now, and as soon as I saw one I thought, yep, I've got to have one for myself. So let's get everything out and have a look. It is basically, you've got two bags, no screws or anything like this because it's a solid resin kit. And let's pop these out of the bag so you can have a good look at the resin inside. And I just want to be careful with this. Okay. Now, if we go over to the overhead for the first part, as you can see here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see it a bit better. Okay, you've got the wings. Now this kit itself is based on a Curtis P40, a Warhawk, I do believe. It just says Curtis P40. And we'll get around to the instructions in a minute. Now this is based on, it's not actually Batman's aircraft. It was based on something from one of the episodes of The Brave and the Bold, and it was an episode that showed a Batplane from 1941, and this was it. So very, very niche, very different, and something you won't get anywhere else. I don't think anyone else would take something like this on. But Domi at Retrokit likes to do the different and stuff, which is why we love them so much. So if we have a look on the overhead, you can see these are the wings, and they've got these swept-backed wings for like a bat wings and everything. And it's all solid resin on this block. That should clean up really nicely, as you can see. Not too many problems with this. This is a solid block of resin which you're not going to need. That will just be waste. I would just like to add that when you do resin things, that you should really be careful because resin can be quite dangerous. It's not good for the lungs. I always do is get a sheet of kitchen roll, put that on the bench, slightly dampen it down so that when you're sanding or cutting or anything like that, any of this stuff sticks to the kitchen roll on the surface, and that way it's not going to go up in the air. But you should wear a dust mask and things like that, must stay there. Okay, so that's the wings. As you can see, there's no detail per se on those whatsoever. Now it might be worth having a look at the comic in question and seeing if you can add any details yourself, but you do have artistic license on this. I think you can pretty much go for it and do what you feel you would like to see on there, which is what I like about sci-fi and stuff like that. Now the main fuselage, let's have a look, there you go. Now that again has no, it's very smooth, there's no detail on there, no recessed panel lines, no rivet detail, no anything. So what I would say on this is, obviously it's Batman's aircraft, so it's going to be, to his own thing, but there would still be panel lining and things like that. So it's definitely going to need a bit of work with the scriber, that's for sure, no two ways about that. I think it would look quite odd if you didn't actually. Rivet detail, again, I mean for my scriber, I love my Tamiya scriber, which is this one here. This is absolutely fantastic scriber. It's my favourite one. I've got loads and loads of scribers, but that is my favourite one. And then you've got something like this, which is the trumpeter. wheel for the rivets. That would be ideal for that, because that comes with several sizes on it. In fact, the one that's on there is 172 as well. So those would be plenty of work and a nice evening's work on the resin. And obviously resin being quite soft, it will go in there quite well. But again, that nice mould, tiny bit of clean up there on a seam line, very slight seam line there. And a bit of clean up all the way along. You can see the mould release agent on there as well, which would need taking off. But so clean the kit up before you cut it up. That would be my advice on that. But very nice indeed. You see this little bit of clean up inside here and that, as you can see from the back. But it's a nice solid lump of resin there. And we can go on, and then we've got prop housing on the front there. Obviously this is all wastage, you don't use any of this, it's just this little bit on the end. Again, because of the way it's shaped and on the resin block there, you would need to shape that end off with a sander. Obviously Ultimate Sanders would do that fine. You've then got the resin props, which are in this little triangle here. Okay, again you have to be very careful, and a bit of clean up there as well needed, I would imagine, but they do look like very nice indeed. Good thing with resin, you get some cracking detail on there. And then you've got the ailerons or flaperons or whatever you want to call them for the ends of the wings there on those ones. Again, just this swept back look for this back wing effect. And then we've got the tail planes here and here, as you can see. Okay, and again you've got this swept look, this canvas swept look, or this very smooth silky look there. And then you've got two wheels. Okay, have a look over there overhead for those, and as you can see again, it's got that very swept back wing look. So nice easy things to, this is going to be a very easy model to build and put together. You do your scratching on the fuselage before you put anything together. I think make it very easy indeed. I don't think you need to do anything on the wings. I think they need to have that silky look to them, like a pair of wings, you know. So but there's lots of other little odds and sods here that you can see. So this little shark fin, I think that would go underneath. Goes underneath there, I think, somewhere. I don't know until we have a look at the instructions. You've then got that is, let's have a look. You then got the cockpit inside the tub there. Let's put you right in on this so you can have a look. Okay. So you see quite a bit of detail in there to be picked out. That slice, and that would obviously slides up inside there once you've cleaned it, take it off the blocks and everything. You see that all this needs to come off here. So it's a bit of work with the razor saw. You've then got another block which has the seat. You can see it has the bucket seat and the cushions and the rear wheel, and it looks like the joystick there as well. All very nicely detailed. Again, resin needs a bit of work, but they are worth it in the end. You've got the exhaust manifolds there. Okay, and they could probably do with a little bit of work on it, just drilling out those ends there. That would be nice, and another bit of the tail plane there. So overall, as you can see, I've got to hurry up because the battery's just about to go on the overhead one. We've then got the clear parts. So we're going to go on to do the cockpit glass, and as you can see there, now this is actually from the AZ Models kit, which is, I think it's a Czech company, I do believe, but that's the actual cockpit from that, and that will sit over there like so. Okay, and it looks to be a reasonably decent fit indeed. So glass is clear and everything. Okay, so we'll quickly move on to the instructions. They're not big, as you can see, it's one single sheet of A4, and basically it tells you what episode in the top here. Let's zoom this up so you can see. There you go. And it just tells you here, there's a Batplane, the first Batplane was in an auto gyro. This was soon replaced by a more conventional fixed wing aircraft. The subject of this kit does not backdate to early World War II release comic strip, but from a story that appeared in a 1980 issue of The Brave and the Bold, contained within an article written by Dan Thompson, published in the September 2000 issue of Fine Scale Modeler. So, featuring Batman and Black Hawks fighting the Nazis in World War II, and this is based, as it says here, on a Curtiss P40. Generic notes, the main chart just tells you how to use the work with the resin and things like that here, and some tips and everything. And then you've got the assembly notes here. You shouldn't count for any modeler who has experience. and then obviously it says for added strength we recommend that metal pins are inserted between tail planes and fuselage, fin and fuselage, moving surfaces and corresponding flying surfaces. That's because when you go to paint, the only glue you can use on this is CA glue, and that's a mechanical glue, so it's prone to being broken off and things like that. So you can't like weld like you would do normal styrene and things like Tamiya extra thin and stuff like that. So they're saying you use metal pins to fix it. Okay, so it's not for the inexperienced. Resin is for the experienced modeler, and I think, to be honest with you, if you're just starting in resin, this isn't bad because it's quite easy kit to fit together by the looks of things. I can't see the fit, but if you have a look on the overhead there, that fit looks okay to me. You will need some filler once that's pushed back, not a lot, I've got to say. So you need to be an experienced modeler, but it would be a good easy kit really for an inexperienced resin modeler to say, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a go at the resin. The main thing here you've got is like adding the pins for the tail fins and things like that, but that's solved with drilling a little bit of wire, and you can do several things. You can put normal pins in there, you can just use a bit of lead wire. It's quite soft really, to be honest with you, but what I would do is I would get something like a safety pin, box of safety pins, or paper clips, metal paper clips, and cut those up and use those. They're just the right size, and you can drill a hole out for those with your micro drill and everything quite easily, and that would be the way to do it. And they're not too big and too intrusive, but they're strong enough to hold them in place, and they're small enough to be able to get in there without causing too much damage to the model itself. And that's basically it. I mean, after that, it just goes on to painting notes. It says the aircraft should be satin or gloss black overall, the tip of the propeller is yellow, cockpit interior could be natural metal, black or interior green, no markings are worn anywhere on the aircraft at all. So obviously Batman didn't have any decals on his aircraft, obviously it's meant to be stealthy. So overall, I think that's a cracking little kit. It's not expensive for what it is. I think it's what, 20, 25 pounds, something like that, for a whole lot of resin, as you can see. And that will be something very, very different on your model shelf or in your cabinet, on your display or whatever. And as I say, you're not going to get that anywhere else. I think it's a great attempt by Retrokit to bring these on, and all these different subjects and the things that they do. As I say, you can get this on umpretail.com. I think that's, if you like different, or if you like anything, just left field, all the Retrokit stuff is perfect for that. So that is the Retrokit 172 Batplane 1941. It's a complete solid resin kit, and I would say that's definitely a good, looking at it, it's an 8.5 out of 10, and that's mainly because it's just solid resin and you can just work with it to your heart's content. And the thing is, because of what it is, you can let your mind go a little bit wild on that. The only thing I will say, definitely needs rescribing and some bolts and that, which you don't get some stuff, extras added onto it, but you don't need to do that on the wings, because I think they're made to look like that swept look, that swept smooth look. But the fuselage itself definitely needs a bit of work on it. But I think that's a great little challenge actually, to make that look good. And obviously being a solid black object as well, it's going to be quite difficult to get it to really look good. You can look at lots of different tonal variations in the black and everything. So that's a thumbs up from me, great little kit. And until next time, take care, bye bye.